Hi, wrestling fans. This is Mad Matt Carter along with AIWF Hall of Famer Brian Danzig, telling you and reminding you about the most awesome, at least we think so, wrestling podcast there is. It's AIWF Ringside Wrestling, and it comes your way on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, just to name a few. Brian, they can also see it on YouTube, but the cool thing about our podcast, it's completely live and interactive every Sunday night on Facebook.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we get into all the news of AIWF, WWE, TNA, all of it. We don't just cover AIWF. We cover the whole spectrum of wrestling. You can comment. You can put comments in there. We'll answer your questions. It's a great time, and most of the time we're talking about wrestling. Sometimes it goes off the rails, and sometimes that's even more entertaining.
Yeah, that's part of the charm, I guess, of the show, right? So be sure to tune in anywhere you find your favorite podcast, on the AIWF Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, and of course on Facebook, live on Sunday night for the most interactive wrestling podcast in the United States. It's AIWF Ringside Wrestling.
That wasn't a Fall Brawl in Asheville, was it?
No, this is one in Winston. That's after they moved it to Winston in 90.
The one in Asheville I went to it.
You went to the one where the giant did the monster truck routine. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
I went to that one.
You were there,
and
Brian?
Me and
Yes.
4,000. Was you there, Brian?
Yeah.
Us and 4,000 fans stood on a balcony and watched them film that.
Mm-hmm.
Over and over. When they brought out the motorcycle, that when you run over Hogan's motorcycle, and they switched the motorcycles for one that was painted like his, only on one side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ruined.
Somebody pointed out, they were talking to Kevin Sullivan, and they pointed up at all the fans that were watching, and he just kind of looked up, and I could see him say, "As long as they're quiet, I don't care." They ruined. They had extras at on the ground, when Hogan pulled up, as fans, but there were real fans up on the upper level watching them film it.
That may be the stupid time in WCW.
Yeah,
they ruined wrestling for hundreds of fans that day.
Yeah,
that was just that whole. Well, first of all, that whole storyline, because that's the storyline that led to the Yeti. So that whole thing, and then the monster truck match on the top of the parking lot, and then the giant going over and Hogan. I'm like, Brian, it's like, why didn't they arrest Hogan for murder then? Because he definitely knocked him off the top of the building and thought he had killed him. So.
They should have arrested all of them for murdering the business that day.
Well,
because they drove the truck down. Tell me if I'm wrong, Brian. They drove the truck toward the thing. They had cameras all over the truck and everything, and then stopped, backed up, switched the motorcycle and the drivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because the giant didn't drive the truck originally. The truck owner or the truck driver did for most of it. And then the giant took over like just before they went over the motorcycle. I can't remember exactly how it was. A long time ago.
Yeah, I think it was once he drove over it, then they stopped and Giant got back in and they him, yes.
It was bad. Like I said, they ruined wrestling for hundreds of fans that day.
I mean, that is
how
just
stupid are you people?
It's stupid, but more importantly, it's lazy. Because
Mm-hmm.
you could have shot that at 11 o'clock in the morning, and there would have been nobody there except the people that worked at the building. Mm-hmm. But you just, that reeks of WCW penny pinching right there to me. That's just what. Oh no, we will have a boys come at their regular call time. We don't want to have to give them any extra because they come early. Fuck that! They're under contract. You're already paying them millions of dollars.
Yes.
Hey, Paul, Hulk, I need you guys there at 10:30 that morning, man, so we can shoot a monster truck.
6:30.
Yeah.
Then you go back to the hotel to sleep. It'll call time, but come in early so we can film it. Not to mention the fact that again, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but was there not? Could we not stand on that balcony and look out across the parking lot to houses and see people sitting on their porch watching it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Who didn't even buy a ticket?
Well, they got to see a monster truck that day, so that was fun.
They sure did.
Oh my God. Just that whole, like I said, that whole storyline was just trash.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just every single part of that, because that was also right when they were doing the Dungeon of Doom with the weird, and they did that match. What was it? The
Tower of
Doom match. That was absolutely terrible. And they had that. Just the whole thing just reeked of Kevin Sullivan just trying to get himself over. So.
Yeah, some of that stuff was so hokey. I actually liked it. Like I always thought the monster truck thing was cool. And,
I'm surprised Reagan didn't love it because that was bad stuff.
Yeah, I remember
I'm not saying I don't love to go back and watch it now.
It was bad then, man.
I remember like a coworker calling me or something that night, and he was like, "Did they just kill the giant?" And I was like, yeah, he fell off the building, but they didn't give us a shot of his corpse laying on the ground. So I'd say there's a sporting chance there might have been a net down there. So
the best thing I would say, because it was supposed to be that he fell into whatever river it was. But let me tell you my AAA story. So we were watching AAA many, many years ago, and they had a faction called the Hell Brothers, and they did a match, and they put he's not Cybernetico. He was Cybernetico in WCW, WWE.
No, that's what he was.
Yeah, okay, so he was there too. So he was the main guy, and they put another guy in a coffin and dumped him into whatever rivers there in Mexico. And I, honest to God, think he was in that coffin floating down the river. But that is AAA, so.
I remember that Fall Brawl in Asheville, and after we seen all that, I was pissed off the rest of the night. I couldn't even enjoy the show.
Yeah, and it was a good show that night. That was the night that Flair and Arn Anderson went one-on-one. And Brian Pillman kicked Flair in the back of the head, and Arn beat him, and the crowd was just flabbergasted. I was at home, too. I was actually legit pissed. I remember jumping up and being like, bullshit! So anyway, happy birthday, Nature Boy, and welcome to the show, Hall of Famer Stephen Hayes. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We're all over Instagram, AIWF Mid Atlantic Wrestling, and Diesel247. That's DEEZEL247. You can find me on X at Mad Matt Concord. There's wrestling stuff there. I usually like anything WrestleNomics or WrestleTix posts, I repost. If you want to see Sammy Guevara damn near kill Jeff Hardy from about 2 or 3 different angles, those videos are there. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it was a collision taping, and Sammy Guevara went to do a shooting star press on Jeff Hardy, did not have it lined up square, and his shin bone, and everything landed right on Jeff's face. And it was really ugly. Not as ugly as the clips that I've seen from the FTR match from last night, but it was gnarly, man. So if you want to see all that, head on over to X at Mad Matt Concord.